It's 11 p.m. You're lying in bed, phone in hand, scrolling through nothing in particular. You're not looking for anything. You're not really watching. You're just there. And somewhere in the back of your mind, there's this feeling you can't quite name. Not sadness, not stress, just a quiet, persistent sense that something is missing. You put the phone down, you stare at the ceiling, and the feeling is still there. You have a roof over your head, food in your fridge, people who love you. By every objective measure, your life is extraordinary, and yet most days it doesn't feel that way. You are the most comfortable human being who has ever lived, and you are one of the most anxious. Here's the part nobody tells you. That feeling isn't weakness. It isn't ingratitude. It's a 300,000-year-old signal firing in a world it was never built for. And once you understand where it comes from, you will never look at that ceiling the same way again. But there's something even stranger, and we'll get to it in a moment. Something your ancestors did every single day without thinking about it. Something so simple it will make you question everything you've been told about happiness. Now let's start with a number that should stop you cold. The World Health Organization estimates that over 280 million people on Earth are currently living with depression. Anxiety disorders affect another 300 million. That's more than the entire population of the United States, twice. Now, ask yourself something uncomfortable. Your ancestors had no therapy, no antidepressants, no meditation apps, no wellness retreats. They lived in the dirt. They died from infections we cure in 3 days. They had nothing. So why does every anthropologist who has ever spent time living with hunter-gatherer societies report the same thing? These people laugh more than you do. In 2010, psychologist Sonia Lyubomirsky at the University of California published a landmark study on what actually drives long-term human happiness. Her conclusion was clear. Circumstances, money, comfort, possessions, safety account for only about 10% of how happy a person is. 10%, that's it. Everything you've been chasing, the salary, the apartment, the status, accounts for 10%. The rest comes from daily behavior, how you spend your time, who you spend it with, and whether what you do feels like it matters. And your ancestors' daily behavior was accidentally, without any intention, a perfect machine for producing exactly what the human brain needs to feel alive. To understand why, you need to look at an actual day. You wake up when your body is ready. No alarm, no meeting in 40 minutes. You eat with the people around you, not alone, not in front of a screen. While you eat, you talk. Then the morning begins. You do something physical with your hands. It's a clear goal, a result you can see and touch before noon. No performance review. The feedback loop closes in hours, not years. By early afternoon, the productive part of the day is over. Anthropologist James Soosman spent decades living among the Juhwansi people of Namibia. His research, published in 2017, found that adults spent roughly 6 hours every day simply being together, talking, laughing, telling stories, being known completely by the people around them. The Juhwansi reported high levels of life satisfaction despite owning almost nothing. They didn't pursue happiness. They lived in conditions that made it unavoidable. Now here's the part that changes everything, because if their life sounds so good, why did we ever stop? The answer is darker than you think, because the reason you can't do what they did isn't laziness, it's biology, and it was quietly broken without your permission. Like, your brain runs on dopamine, the chemical that drives motivation, pleasure, and the feeling that life is worth showing up for. For 300,000 years, dopamine was triggered by things that were rare and hard to reach. Finding honey in a tree, landing a clean hunt, making your group laugh, being chosen. These things happened a few times a week. Your brain had time to reset. The reward meant something. Today, your phone triggers that exact same system every 4 minutes. A like, a message, a video that starts before the last one ends, an infinite scroll with no bottom. In 2018, researchers at UC San Diego analyzed data from over 1 million teenagers and found a direct, measurable correlation between screen time and clinical depression. Not because technology is evil, but because it hijacks a reward system built for scarcity and floods it with a signal it cannot process. Your brain is not broken. It's running 300,000-year-old software in an environment that didn't exist 15 years ago. It's overstimulated, exhausted, and it has stopped feeling anything as real reward because nothing rare ever happens anymore. That empty feeling tonight, staring at the ceiling, that's a system running on overdrive for so long. It has forgotten what it feels like to actually want something. But dopamine is only one of 3 things that broke, and the second one, nobody in the wellness industry will ever talk about it because fixing it doesn't sell anything. In the 1990s, British anthropologist Robin Dunbar at the University of Oxford discovered that the human brain has a hard limit on how many genuine relationships it can maintain at once. About 150 people. That's it. Beyond that, your brain cannot sustain real bonds. It wasn't built for more. For 300,000 years, this limit was never tested. Your entire world was 50 to 150 people. You knew everyone's name, their history, their grief, and they knew yours. You were seen completely. Not curated, not performed, just known. Being genuinely known by others activates the same neural pathways as physical safety. Your brain registers deep belonging as a signal that you will survive. Its absence registers as a threat. Today, you have 847 followers. Your closest friends live in 3 different countries. You are the most connected human in history, and your nervous system is registering it as being completely alone in the dark. In 2023, Harvard published the results of the longest study on human happiness ever conducted. 84 years. Thousands of participants. The single greatest predictor of happiness and length of life was not wealth, not achievement. It was the quality of close relationships. Your ancestors didn't need an 84-year study to know this. They were born into a group of 50 people. They would live and die beside deep bonds, weren't a goal. They were the structure of existence itself. And the third thing that broke, it's the one that Viktor Frankl understood better than anyone after surviving 4 Nazi concentration camps. Your ancestors knew why they were alive, not philosophically, practically, daily. You hunt well, your children eat tonight. You gather what you know, your people survive the winter. Your role was not a question. The meaning of your day was visible before it ended. In 1946, Viktor Frankl published Man's Search for Meaning. His central argument: a human being can endure almost any how if they have a why. And what he observed was that the people who collapsed first were not those facing the greatest hardship. They were the ones who could no longer see a reason for their suffering, the ones whose future had gone blank. Your ancestors never lost their why. It was built into every single day. You live in the most materially abundant civilization in human history, and meaning is the one thing it forgot to include. Your ancestors were not happy because life was easy. It was brutal, short, and without mercy. But they were more connected, more purposeful, and more present than the average person sitting in a modern city with every comfort available, because their lives accidentally produced everything the human brain needs to function: movement, deep relationships, a role that mattered, a reward system that wasn't hijacked, a why that was never a question. You have eliminated almost every hardship they ever faced, and in doing so, you have dismantled almost every condition that made them feel alive. The most anxious, medicated, optimized generation in recorded human history is not struggling because something went wrong. It's struggling because something went missing. Tonight, when you pick up your phone again, and you will, just notice the pull. Don't fight it. Just notice it for what it is. It's not boredom. It's not habit. It's a 300,000-year-old system built to seek reward in a world of scarcity, now completely lost in a world of infinite signal, reaching for something it cannot find. That quiet feeling earlier, staring at the ceiling, that's your brain. Ancient, exhausted, trying to tell you something, it has been trying to say for a very long time. Like, what it actually needs has never been inside the phone. Like, your ancestors didn't search for happiness. They just lived the way humans were built to live. You have everything they spent their entire existence trying to reach. The warmth, the food, the safety, the medicine, all of it. And somewhere along the way, in building all of this, you forgot to feel it. In the next video, we're going to go even deeper, because there's one specific thing your ancestors did every single night around the fire that modern science has now proven to be the most powerful tool for mental resilience ever discovered. And you haven't done it once today.